the group Boys to Men as far as them being artists. I think they're amazing, and I have no shade about them, their career, or anything like that. But what I will say is I did have a bad experience.
I mean, y'all better trust that Kandi Burruss will always stand on business. And when she said that Boys to Men was her worst experience in the music industry, honey, she meant every word of what she said. Well, when it comes to the group, W. Morris is the one who mostly gives the most serious narcissist psychopath or sociopath vibes and makes the entire group look bad. Like, did you know that Adina Howard never released her second album due to the beef with Brandy over W. Morris?
Two young ladies allowed their egos to get in the way and were kind of going through it about a guy.
So Kandi is mostly known for being a real housewife, but beyond her reality presence, she has also written big hits for other artists, including No Scrubs for TLC and Bills, Bills, Bills for Destiny's Child. During her years as a songwriter, she also worked with Boys to Men, but she had absolutely nothing good to say about working with them, okay? While on an Instagram Live sometime back, Kandi spoke to legendary musician Eddie Levert and his daughter about the most memorable times she's had as a singer-songwriter, and in response to their question about who was the most difficult person she's worked with, she said that her worst experience was with Boys to Men.
Mike did speak back with my manager, the nice one, Mike, and he apologized to him and said, please tell Kandi I'm sorry for how, everybody handled her or whatever, that wasn't cool, whatever. I'm sure he didn't tell them that he apologized, but he did apologize and was just saying like he recognized that it wasn't cool. So I was just like, it wasn't just me. I know I ain't.
She basically said that they fell out over an issue. And she didn't even think that she has ever been disrespected like that before in a studio in her life.
It was difficult now, Kandi. Don't try to soft soap me. Don't you try.
I hate to do it. And, ain't no love lost. I mean, this is 100 years later, so it doesn't even matter. But yeah, I had a bad experience in the studio with Boys to Men. I don't think I ever been disrespected like that before in the studio in my life. It was crazy, really. But, at the end of the day, that was a long time ago, clearly, we moved past that or whatever. But it was kind of weird for me because, we were friends prior. Well, some of us, were cool. I mean, I didn't know everybody in the group, but I knew a few of them. We had hung out different times prior to being in the studio working together. So it was just kind of unexpected to me that working together would have that result.
While Kandi didn't specify the issue other than to say that it wasn't about the singing, but the attitude, W. Morris responded to her comments and said that she and the group clashed over songwriting credits for a track they all worked on.
So we've been taught, you write it, you just split it down the middle. That way there's no discrepancies or whatever, blah, 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 right? We finished the...
Based on what he said, as artists, they were taught that you write a song and you split songwriting credits down the middle. That way there are no discrepancies. But according to W, Kandi started talking about splits when the song wasn't even finished.
She started talking about splits. Now, the song wasn't actually finished, but she started talking about splits. Now, we from the old school. We from the, hey, you write a lyric, I write a lyric, if you don't write the full, you know what I'm saying? It's really about, just building this whole thing together. And she started talking about splits. So we sat there, we was like, splits? First of all, we didn't even finish singing the song yet. We didn't finish writing the song yet. Why would we talk about split?
Then said that Kandi, who wrote the song's hook, became harder to work with after the group made a little bit of a stink. Now, despite the contention, Kandi and Boys to Men did work together again, but Wan said that for him personally, he could take her or leave. He then went on to admit that he watches her on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, saying that she often shares some wild opinions on the popular reality show. But then he also threw a bit of shade in there, like he straight up said that Kandi can't get on here and sing better than Jana Brown from AGT, and she can't get on here and sing better than Liam Monty Segura the Shade. Y'all OMG. In fact, he basically suggested that Kandi hasn't had a successful songwriting career since the early 2000s again. Best believe that Kandi was not about to let that man drag her behind. And she doubled down on her comment, asserting that her experience with Boys to Men was really the worst cuz they wanted to cut her short on her hard work and also had the audacity to talk trash about her.
There's a lot of ego that they feel that somebody who's writing with them, for them, or whatever shouldn't even be able to ask them about splits. That's for one. And for two, I definitely felt it was a thing of, me being a woman, they felt like they didn't have to do business with me. Like they didn't have to talk to me or deal with me. Like I'm only gonna talk.
In 2011, Brandy even told the Juice, quote, "She was the first girl on the scene. She came out before Monica, and she was our inspiration at the time. Record companies did not believe in Kid X, and it was just inspiring to see someone that was winning. And winning being themselves. When I met her, I embraced her. I was so happy to meet her. I told her how much I loved her. She said the same thing about me, and we connected. It was a great moment I'll never forget." Allegedly behind the scenes, Brandy cut. Not stand Aaliyah at all. The thing is, since Aaliyah, Brandy, and Monica were coming up around the same time, naturally, there was a bit of competition between them, and fans compared them and pit them against each other. Now we know about the Brandy and Monica feud, and that's something that Monica even addressed at length and said that she was willing to move past it and work with Brandy, which they did recently. In case you missed it, 'cause the truth is the only Grammy they have was from when they work together. It's never been an easy situation. But the reason that I would do it is because we are from a special elite group. It was her, Aaliyah, and myself. And it was a very special time where each of us were individuals. We did our own thing, and we all made our own mark. And the truth and reality is the only Grammy either of us has is together. So that to me says something special. So yeah, I absolutely would. Well, their beef kind of had a lot to do with their images and how people perceive them. In the industry now, because of Leah and Monica's images were a little bit more mature, while Bry's image was more like that of a girl next door. Brandy reportedly made comments about Aaliyah's image, specifically being a little too grown, and how her mother would never approve. Allegedly, she would always talk trash about Aaliyah and Monica liking older men and called them too grown for their ages. But the difference was that while Brandy always said nasty things behind Aaliyah's back, Aaliyah actually kept it really cute when she was asked about Brandy. I caught wind of some of it, but I don't pay much attention to that. I think there's raw here for all of us. So good luck, Brandy. I even turned down a role in Scary Movie because she did not want to disrespect Brandy, and they actually had a character who was the Brandy character, and they wanted me to play Brandy and kind of do a parody of her, and I just, didn't actually like the script. I thought it was really funny, but I didn't want to I didn't want anybody to take like I was disrespecting her in any way, so I actually didn't do it, child. The hypocrisy here was that while Brandy was trashing Aaliyah and Monica for liking older men, she was out there grooving with Onyinye herself. Of course, they also both denied that they did anything until Brandy reached 18 with W, specifically saying that Bry's mother reached out to him because Brandy was a big fan and he thought that was amazing. I'm going to tell the story. He likes stuff like this, especially when people don't have any idea. Okay, Jack. Okay, so check this out. Brandy and I were friends in the beginning, her mother, and then reached out to me, as well as my manager reached out to Brandy, because Brandy was a big fan of mine, and I was like, wow, that's amazing, because a young lady was pretty cool, and now I was young at the time. I wasn't 30, nothing, you know what I'm saying? According to what W said, Brandy sort of became his protege after they met, and he said that he is actually the one who introduced her to many A-list artists in the industry.